Welcome back, my loves. The following is not content. It is not advice, and it is not a lesson in self-worth or dating dynamics. This is a living field for those who are ready to stop orbiting longing and start embodying love. And this is a remembrance for the ones who have met themselves deeply enough to stop choosing potential over presence. Let this meet the place in you that no longer bargains with absence. Let this transmission be felt in the frequency of your cleanest yes. Divine union, preference, and true embodiment. Most people think they've met themselves when they've only ever met their patterns, their defenses, their projections wrapped in spiritual language. Meeting yourself isn't just insight, it's interruption. It's the moment you stop orbiting the same longings and start observing how they were formed. It's no longer asking, why haven't they chosen me? And instead, asking, why did I keep choosing them? To meet yourself is to make the unconscious conscious, not just in thought, but in choice. And when you do meet yourself fully, you'll stop trying to merge with someone's potential. You'll stop bargaining with absence. You'll stop calling longing love. You'll realize that embodiment does not advertise itself. It emits, it becomes the frequency. And that frequency, when clean, is unmistakable to those who have also met themselves. Your divine counterpart will not feel like a maybe. They will not require waiting, and they will not make you question your clarity. They will feel instead like recognition. Your body will soften. Your mind will go quiet. Your field will say, here, now, yes. Not because they perform the right role, but because their presence does not activate your fear. It affirms your knowing. Most delay union by declaring preference, by waiting on someone to heal, by holding out for a specific name, even while the field is offering the match. But the field does not respond to fantasy. It responds to frequency. And every time you say, I'll wait for them to be ready, you tell the field, I've chosen. I'm willing to delay. That's not divine trust. That's spiritual bargaining. And what most were never taught is the spiritual law of magnetism through embodiment. When you choose embodiment, not strategy, not performance, not seeking validation, but actual coherence, the field moves. It must. Your divine counterpart is already seeking you on the level of code. And when your signal stabilizes, not through effort, but through sovereignty, they will find you. Not as a fantasy, but as fulfillment. Because this is spiritual law. What is whole attracts what is whole. Not what is ready, not what is good enough, but what is resonant. And resonance cannot be forced. It can only be felt. Your field, when coherent, becomes unmistakable. To those attuned, it will feel like a drug. not because it overpowers, but because it mirrors their own arrival. But understand this, that kind of field doesn't just attract alignment, it also attracts distortion, which is why embodiment requires discernment, and discernment begins with sovereignty. What the world calls love versus what divine love actually is. The following is a quantum distinction for those who are ready to know. What the world calls love is often performance. It is often effort, proximity, trauma bonding dressed as chemistry. It's a match of needs, not essence. It is often a cycle of yearning, earning, and proving. It says, they chose me, so I must be worthy. But divine love doesn't arrive through choice. It arrives through recognition. Divine love is not seeking, striving, or scheduling. It is not managing wounds together and calling it connection. It is not planning weekends, matching lifestyles, or romantic gestures that try to compensate for a lack of frequency match. Divine love is not maintained through effort. It is maintained through embodiment. On a quantum level, divine love is the union of two coherent fields, not coherent minds, not shared interests, not similar wounds. Two coherent fields. When both have met themselves, the magnetism is automatic, inevitable, and undeniable. It feels like a full-body drug you never ingested. Your cells remember before your mind can explain. You don't try to be seen. You are seen, fully. Because divine love does not need to be learned. It is remembered. You are divine magnets for one another. No other being can replicate this signal. No other soul can mimic this merge. It doesn't come with confusion. It doesn't create questions. It silences the static. And no distortion can counterfeit the coherence. No fantasy can sustain the frequency. And no mimicry can hold the field. This is not a bond. This is a return. And if you've tasted that even once, you'll never again mistake performance for presence. Let others call effort love. Let them confuse attention for truth. Let them chase stories, timelines, and potential. But you don't need to. Because when divine love arrives, you won't have to explain yourself. You will be yourself, and they will know. How you know you're embodied. You might think you've met yourself, but meeting yourself isn't just awareness. It's embodiment. It's knowing your patterns and no longer playing them out. It's facing your fear of loss and no longer building your future around it. It's becoming the version of you that doesn't need to wait because you've finally chosen you. You don't just know what you deserve. You stop entertaining what you don't. You no longer argue with dissonance. You no longer project your desires onto delay. You no longer confuse spiritual potential with partnership. You are no longer magnetized by unavailability because you've made yourself fully available to the truth. You no longer seek love, you become it. And in becoming it, you no longer look for the one. You become one who can be found. And that's when the real one comes. And yes, it could be the one you're waiting for. But it could also be another. One whose presence reveals just how much you had settled for less. One who makes you realize you weren't asking for too much. You were just asking the wrong person. This one will not require you to dim, delay, or prove. They will not feel like a gamble. They will feel like a rival. And you won't need to cling to preference, because embodiment makes you a magnet for what's built for you. Not what you imagined, only what's true. This transmission is offered in service of true embodiment. What union reveals, what preference distorts, and what only embodiment can magnetize. Ashe, Amen, Selah, let light bear witness.